Be a chilly start to the weekend, but a really cold start to next week. Tonight, however, temperatures have started to almost hold steady. We've only dropped a few degrees in the last several hours, and that is because the dew points are on the rise. Not dramatically so, but we have a little more cloudiness around, humidity coming up a little bit because of that south wind, and it definitely has a little bit more if you've been out in the last hour or so, kind of a damp feel to the air. That's the moisture coming back in from the Gulf, and so temperatures would normally continue to kind of crash during this hour, and they have not done so. We've been holding steady 40s, low 50s. We'll still cool down another several degrees on both sides of the lake, but not dramatically, as we do have a more southerly wind now and probably picking up a little bit more during the night. We've also started to see an increase in cloud cover, all ingredients that would kind of inhibit those temperatures from bottoming out like they did last night and this morning, whereas this morning we started out in the 30s on both sides of the lake. So a little more passing cloudiness at times during the night. I don't think it's going to inhibit our temperatures a great deal, but somewhat. As we head into the day tomorrow, though, we are going to be a little bit milder to almost warmer, with highs into the mid-upper 60s and then low 70s briefly on Friday as a scattered rain chance approaches thanks to a developing cold front, or a front that'll be moving in. Now, there is a risk of some of these strong to severe, but it does not look as though it's going to be the widespread issue, certainly not what we saw earlier this week and early yesterday morning. And this will also be during the daylight hours. In fact, around the morning drive may have a few spotty to scattered showers during the mid-morning, early afternoon, kind of rolling on through very quickly, and probably just after the lunch hour, rain is gone. Rest of the afternoon and evening will be drying out and turning chilly. And as we head into Saturday, temperatures will stay in the 40s after a morning start in the 30s. Now, as we approach that front, or as that front is approaching, as I should say, we are going to see kind of a developing chance for some strong to severe storms. Mainly a low level 1 threat on the south shore and a level 2 on the north shore and across the Florida parishes. But in fact, as that front continues pushing to the east after it's left southeast Louisiana, it's really going to ramp up with that severe threat as it heads farther into the deep south and toward the east coast. So for us, not as great of a severe weather chance. Chilly temperatures across much of the nation, but our eyes are on northwestern Canada, because this is the source for our next big cool down, as temperatures in the Arctic and polar regions are moving south. This is a brutally cold air mass for most of the nation, especially folks up to our north, where the Central Plains, Northern Plains, Great Lakes are looking at sub-zero type temperatures for a fairly decent duration. And when you get that cold of an air mass not too far to our north, we are looking at a big drop in temperature. And in fact, this is going into Thursday of next week. That cold air looks like it's going to dominate for a while. This is the 6 to 10 day forecast, and this doesn't actually look at the temperatures themselves, but the high likelihood of us staying below average, and a trend which will likely continue for the next 2 weeks. So how cold are we talking? Well, high temperatures on Saturday only in the 40s. Once that Arctic air arrives, high temperatures Tuesday will stay in the 30s. Our coldest morning looking to be Tuesday morning, with 20s on both sides of the lake, maybe even cold enough on the south shore where pipes would need to be protected. So we are talking pipe weather for Tuesday morning. Now, we are again mentioning that front on the way for Friday. The air this weekend is not for pipes. We're at 30s on both sides of the lake, yes, but only a light freeze on the north shore. So you still have time to protect the pipes. By Monday going into Tuesday, that's going to be the coldest. 30s for our highs on Tuesday, and maybe another hard freeze on Wednesday.